their site in the eyes of Google. And so they'll only allow you to leave links for your websites in the resource box area. And once again, when you go to those sites and you try and submit an article, you'll see where everything is. It's very clear. Now, we talked before about anchor text, and this is a perfect example. If you read this, where's the link? What does it say? What does the link say?
That's the anchor.
That's right, property management Daytona. And that's exactly what we're talking about in terms of that's what they're trying to optimize for, right? That's their anchor text, that's their keyword. So when people are searching for property management Daytona on Google, they're trying to rank for that keyword. And so when you're doing your articles and you're trying to rank for, again, IT Consultant Toronto, your anchor text would be IT Consultant Toronto instead of that. And so that will bring the relevance to your website, because every link that points out to your site, Google looks at the text that surrounds the link, as well as the anchor text on the actual link. So whenever you leave a link, try as much as possible to leave anchor text with it. Now these guys actually just didn't do it as smart as they can, because with every article you can leave 2 links. So let's say you're targeting 2 different keywords. Visit our property management Daytona website, and there should be a second link, property management services in Daytona. That could be another link. So they didn't take full advantage of what they could have. Yes.
So this design offers 2 links to
Yes.
the same website.
Absolutely. You can do it to different websites as well if you're trying to optimize to different websites.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not a problem. But usually you don't want to put more than 2 links, just as a general guideline. Sometimes they let it slip, but usually they don't. Because again, they don't want it to look like it's too promotional. So the article directories are there for you to provide content, and in return, you get backlinks, right? As well as some traffic. A lot of these people that are very successful with design articles have over 100 articles published, because they just write, right? As a business owner, unfortunately, sometimes you don't have all that time. But whenever you have free time, just sit down, type an article. They have to be 250 words minimum, and submit it to design articles and to all the other directories. So it might take you, 2 hours, 3 hours. As you get better at it, it might take you less time. And especially in your field, because you know so much about your field already, you could come up with really good quality content in a very short period of time. And so every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, just decide, okay, I'm going to take 3 hours and I'll do some article writing, and then submit. And so now you're slowly building the ranking of your webpage. Now the next thing is, after article directory submissions, is directory submissions. And that's actually, Wayne, what you were talking about a little bit with what did you submit your website to besides the Google? The real estate directories?
Oh, the NAR,
okay.
Korea.
Okay.
Yeah.
Within every industry, within every field, there are directories that support or that promote different websites for that industry. So let's say, on the side I teach ballroom dancing. So there's a lot of ballroom dancing industry related directories out there, right? And so as you have a website, let's say about ballroom dancing, you want to make sure that your website is in every one of these directories. And I'll show you just in a second, it's on there as well, but how to find them. So these directories are just basically like, imagine Yellow Pages, but free for your website, right? And it has all these different websites. Every time you leave your website in a directory, that's a backlink pointing to your site. And again, now we're generating a little bit more backlinks. The way to find directories related to your website or to your industry is you have the search query right there. So under directory submissions, you can see that it says your industry plus directory. If we search for that on Google, you'll find usually a list of directories that will relate to your particular industry. Real estate directory. And you have to scroll through a bunch. They won't all be perfect, they won't all be fantastic, but a lot of them will allow you, when you go there, to add a link or submit your website. And now, once again, you're creating backlinks for your site. So you're increasing relevancy for your site, you're increasing traffic, and down the line, you're increasing your ranking, which is a very big deal. And so, whatever industry you're in, type in. As you can see, I just typed in real estate directory. Done. Ballroom dancing directory. Directories. Try different things. And so you can just start seeing where you can add your website. Very useful things. Now, two of the biggest directories, and I'll just write it on the same one. Two of the biggest directories are DMOS and biggest directories, Yahoo and DMOZ. And as I wrote just on the sheet, DMOZ here is a free directory. And you can add your website. It's a very, very high value directory in the eyes of Google because they're very specific about who they let in. They don't let in any spam websites because they're human reviewed. And so that again raises their value in the eyes of Google. The problem with DMOZ is that submission sometimes takes a very long time to get approved. Sometimes it takes weeks, but sometimes it takes months, and usually it takes years. Just because they also have a limit in terms of how many websites in every category they will allow. And so with all of that, it's a good place to submit your website to because it's free, but you might not get the result immediately. But the benefit of submitting to this is when you have a link pointing to your website from the DMOZ directory, it adds a lot of value and a lot of page rank to your own website. So it's a very important link to have. The second directory is the Yahoo directory. Yahoo directory is a paid directory, and if you are in, I think that their annual charge is $2.99. I believe they charge $2.99 for inclusion for the first time fee, and then they have an annual $2.99 fee as well per year. Yahoo, again, very powerful directory, very, very big, very valued in the eyes of Google. And so again, if you can spare the $2.99, any website that has links from Yahoo and DMOZ automatically gets a lot of credibility in the eyes of the search engines. It gets a lot of not only authority, but actual trust factor, which is an important thing to consider whenever you have a website. Trust factor affects so many things, like even the fact that if your website is a high trust factor website, which means a lot of valued directories, let's say, point to it, then any backlinking effort that you do will be taken in a much better way than if you had no trust factor. Because if you have no trust factor, sure, people are starting to link to you, but Google is sort of always suspicious of new people just trying to link to you, right? So they don't always just say, yeah, sure, number one, but they're more hesitant to give it to you. But if you have a high trust factor, well then they'll say, okay, not only do these people start linking to this website, but also Yahoo has included them, and DMOZ has included them. Okay, so now we can trust them a little bit more. We can give them a little bit more space. And so when you submit to directories, these are the first two that you want to submit. Most people, not a lot of people choose to submit to Yahoo just because of the $2.99 annual fee.